Where Winds Meet is inching ever closer to its final release, and we can't wait to dive into Everstone's take on ancient China for a multitude of reasons. From its massive open world to what's looking like a very meaty combat system, along with an exploration loop that seems like a dream come true for RPG fans, this is shaping up to be a great addition to the list of excellent releases in 2025. But for us, the smaller moments and those little thrills that come from well-implemented creative flourishes matter just as much as the thrill of a duel that has you clashing blades with a worthy foe, or views that do come close to being as unforgettable as the adventure they're a part of. We're very excited about these specific parts of Where Winds Meet, and simply can't wait to try them out in its final release. 1. Take to the Skies. Several previews of the game showcase a move that has the player character summon up energy with a smooth move, and use it to launch themselves right into the air to glide along to far-off destinations, with a couple of extra leaps thrown in to really gain some distance. It's actually a sight to behold, and actually pulling it off to get to something interesting in the distance is going to be quite a treat with this one's incredible draw distance and level of detail. 2. Become a martial art expert. While combat looks quite cool, even in the game's early hours, we suspect that it's only going to get better as you go around learning new martial arts and begin to harness the true potential of your weapons. Of course, there's enough to suggest that the game's enemies are going to keep you on your toes in battle, and having the tools to put up a credible fight is something that has us itching to get started. It's a great way to ensure that we're not only leveled up for the story, but have enough tricks in our arsenal to take on bosses and even other players in PvP perhaps. 3. Steel skills. Of course, any conversation about martial arts leads to a very interesting way to obtain them. In a mechanic that was an excellent part of Ghost of Tsushima, one of the ways that you can learn new martial arts is by infiltrating enemy camps and strongholds and covertly observing high-rank individuals practice said arts. Not only are we keen to see how this game's approach to stealth shapes up, but having to move in unseen enemy-dense areas for such a welcome reward is sure to be a thrill all on its own. 4. Discover dungeons. We're almost certain that one of the world's elusive dungeons is going to be a memorable part of our early hours in the game. We're also pretty sure that it's going to be an excellent precursor of brilliant ones to come, the more we seek them out. Our early impressions of dungeons in the game are quite positive, with a lot of important rewards tucked away in their depths, and some challenging enemies standing in the way. They're definitely a priority on our to-do lists. 5. Build a home. Yeah, you heard that right. You get to put down roots at locations you deem worthy of your presence, and the option to build a home is always welcome in a world that could get pretty hard for one who lives a wanderer's life. We can't wait to engage with the building system and see everything that it has to offer. A house in an ancient dynasty that's quite turbulent at the time of purchase sounds like an interesting investment. 6. Try out weapons. Every weapon type in this game looks oh so darn tempting. Is the sword every bit as fast and stylish as it has been in the hands of players in the beta and previews? What does pairing the rope dart and dual blades, as the game suggests, bring to the actual combat loop? Is this going to be our favorite implementation of a spear's long reach and top-tier mobility? Of course, the fans and umbrellas are going to be our first port of call, but it's going to be a blast mastering each weapon type on offer and bringing out some very fancy moves in the process. 7. Various side quests. Of course, we wouldn't be much of a hero if we weren't using our skills to help out those who need it. Where Winds Meet is teeming with opportunities for you to engage with the world around you, and branching activities could keep you busy for quite a while. It's the perfect opportunity to make use of the choice to use a very enticing option that we're getting to, and simply go where the road takes you. That's going to be the first few hours of the game on our end, and it comes highly recommended. 8. Unlock co-op. Where Winds Meet comes with a lot of social components and even an MMORPG mode, which makes us quite eager to unlock co-op and try to see what it's like with other players wandering the world. It's also a good way to see just how well the game's online framework holds up, and whether it manages to live up to a very ambitious play for greatness in a crowded space of online free-to-play titles. Either way, bringing a few buddies along to a land where conflict could just be around the corner is a wise decision. 9. Master the parry system. The more we see of this game's combat, the more certain we are that parrying enemy attacks is going to be every bit as rewarding as it looks. It's stylish, it works just like Sekiro's posture system, and its animations look absolutely cool while also being consistent. But the game's enemies vary up their attacks and come with delayed attacks that can make a parry-focused playstyle the perfect balance of skill and style. We're already sold on an assassin that's both deadly from the unseen shadows and brutally efficient in an open battle. 10. Take on early bosses. We can't wait to try parrying early bosses in the game, who look like they pack quite a punch, and require that you get a solid grasp of the game's mechanics before you take them on if you want to stand a chance. There are hulking brutes and agile combatants to find out in the field and as part of the main story. Once again, we believe that these early opponents are a precursor of even more formidable foes as our adventure continues. It's going to be interesting to see what's ahead of a bar that already seems set quite high. 11. Visit Kangfei. Qinghui's sweeping vistas and beautiful plains and forests are a visual treat, but the city of Kangfei is not only such a massive contrast in comparison, but a part of the world that's just so fascinating. We can't wait to learn more about its origins and dive deep into its mysteries. It's a place that feels like the opportunity for a new exciting adventure is just around the bend, as are similar chances to find a new favorite piece of gear, or perhaps an entire chain of quests to follow. It's alive, unpredictable, and enticing in a way that calls to us. We do love our big cities after all. 12. Unlock build-specific gear. Controllers charged and all distractions dealt with, we're going to have a blast letting the road take us on paths to items that allow us to build out our dual-blade wielding whirlwinds, or glaive-focused powerhouses. We know that the best builds are determined not just by your skills, but by the gear that you manage to put together and the synergies you manage to build. That's very much part of why we think Where Winds Meet is a special experience, and you could bet we're going all in on great builds. 13. Character creation. This facet of the experience has been gaining a lot of praise among critics, and seems to be quite deep with a lot of options to ensure that you look and feel like a part of Everstone's well-crafted and welcoming world. There's even an option to upload your own photos and have the game do the heavy lifting for you, although your mileage may vary depending on the photo in question. But it's a welcome option and probably a good starting point for those of you looking to dive into the adventure as soon as you can. 14. Dive into the lore. This is a story that seems to have a lot of layers and complex relationships governing its many interactions and characters. We can't wait to see what the game's world is waiting to show us and gain a better understanding of its world and our part in it. We're hoping it's a story worth playing, and is one that does not shy away from showcasing the turmoil of its settings while setting us free to influence its outcomes over the course of our journey. It's also going to be interesting to see if different characters access different options based on the situations they're in, and how these options allow things to play out. 15. Explore without the HUD. Remember that enticing option we mentioned in our discussion about side quests? Well, that's the one that lets you turn off the game's HUD and allow the road to guide you along your path through its intricate world. Everything we've mentioned so far is going to be so much more engaging and immersive when it's all you can see on your screen after all. But it could also add another layer of immersion to the game's exploration mode, in which you follow clues to your intended destination instead of the game's guiding you to it. And that's a wrap on all the things we're just impatient to try when we finally get to play Where Winds Meet. We're certain that it's only going to get more interesting from here, and perhaps there will be more things to anticipate once we get the ball rolling on its story. Either way, we're diving right into its final release alongside the rest of you. Happy adventuring! Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.